Hello my friends, welcome to another episode of my knitting podcast here on my channel, Muddy Boots Maker. If you're new here, my name is Amy and I live on Dja country here in central Victoria, Australia. And today I have quite a bit to show you. I have one finished item and 3 new whips that I have cast on. I have not been working on my older whips that have been going on for quite some time, but I have had the cast on bug and have introduced quite a few more projects to my whip list. I also have a few things I'd like to show you and a few items that I will be putting up in my shop soon, if not already by the time this podcast goes up. So head over to my shop, the link is down below, and of course everything that I talk about today is down below in the description box. So you may have noticed my finished whip this time round is the scarf that I'm wearing right now. This is a free pattern on Ravelry. You can access it without a Ravelry account, so I will link it below, and I think if you click on that link you can see it straight away. So this is called the Miss Marple scarf, and it has been on my list for quite some time. It's so simple and ingenious in the design and so quick to knit up. I can't believe I have not cast it on yet. I've knit it in some leftover Cascade yarn. It's the Cascade 220 heathers, and this color is the Birch color. So it's like a mustardy yellow color that I have knit it in, and it is just so much warmer than I imagined it was going to be. The neck comes right up, and it's double layers in most of the areas around the neck, and it has this beautiful addition here where you've got this tube on either side, so you can choose which side you want to send through, but it's got this tube and you can send through one side of the scarf through. Whoop, try not to get your hair caught in the tube and then it just displays it nicely like 2 big leaves on your chest. It's so beautiful, and I just sort of make a bit of a collar of the top part, and there we have it. So it is, I'm going to take it off because it's not, it's a rainy day today. It's not cold though. I'm wearing my, I should probably mention at the start, but I'm wearing my Jupiter crop that I absolutely love by Caitlin Hunter. Now back to this scarf. So it's very simple. You start at one end and you work your way all the way through to the other end. There are a few parts that are, you know, a bit more skillful than a beginner knit, but it's pretty easy, this knit, and it's just basically most of it is garter stitch with a little bit of rib here, and it is just super easy and super quick to whip up. I had a lot of fun knitting this up, and I've already had requests for one from Charlotte. She would like one in a green or a blue, so I'm gonna have to do some deep diving into my stash. Not that I need to go too deeply, because as you'll find out later, I have been working through my stash a bit of recent. So that is exciting. And if I don't have a green or blue, I'll just have to go and buy some more yarn. I should have said up front, I am in a different area. I'm at the kitchen table basically, in our living kitchen dining room space here in our house. And I can do this because I'm home alone. And I have my setup here, and I've had it set up for the whole entire week because I have been home alone by myself with the dogs and the cats and the sheep and the alpacas and the chickens. Not really by myself then. For the whole entire week. I have had 5 nights to myself, and it has been lovely, quiet, strange. It has been an interesting glimpse into life, I guess, by myself, or what I can achieve by myself. But you know, you come into it as a sort of semi-exhausted mother. And I just spent the first couple of days just relaxing, cleaning, and taking my time. And it wasn't until yesterday that I started doing a whole heap of work. And I'll show you some of the things I have been making, but most of the time this week I have been knitting, and most of the items, 2 of the items I cast on during this time alone. So I've done quite a bit of knitting this week, and in previous weeks I hadn't been doing much knitting. I've been doing a lot of sewing, a lot of gardening, a lot of preserving, but this week I just felt that coziness, the ability to just sit down and knit for hours on end. There was a beautiful day yesterday and it was so sunny. I sat outside and just knitted and listened to a podcast. It's just been really, really lovely. And I will talk a bit more about my week later. I didn't mean to get into it in such depth straight up right now, but by the time you see this, my family will be back from their homeschool camp, and I'm so excited to see them all again and have them all home, because it has been quite a strange... I've never been home alone at night time on this homestead. Never ever had been, you know, so it's been a bit strange, but it's been lovely all the same. Okay, so my first whip that I cast on recently, I got gifted by a very lovely viewer the Ranunculus sweater pattern. Thank you so much. It is... I have been meaning to cast it on, to buy it and cast it on for a long time. To be given it, it's just really, thank you so much. It's so delightful. It really makes me feel very special. And I've cast it on using this wool that has been in my stash for quite a few years. It is a 4-ply wool from Bendigo Woollen Mills that I picked up in the back of the shop. So it's a unique wool. Sometimes they just have one-offs out the back. This is, hopefully that'll show up. It's going to blur out the screen a bit. It's coming out much brighter than it is. It's quite a dark burgundy. Yeah, on this screen that I'm seeing here, it is coming out very, very red. But I have cast on and oh my goodness. You know what? I've taken some footage. I'm going to put footage of me wearing it here. I have cast off the body. It will stretch quite a bit when I block it, so it does appear quite sort of tight on me. I mean, not tight, but fitted. It's definitely very loose and very, very nice. I went for size 2 and I wanted to go for a bigger size, but I just wanted to have a go because I'm definitely going to be knitting a few more of these in my lifetime. I think with making it in size 2, like, it's so very stretchy and it's gonna block out quite a bit. But yeah, my eldest daughter or my youngest daughter might wear it one day too, just as a nice cozy throw over. But yeah, if I hold it up here, it's just going to blow out. So I'm not going to hold it up to the screen. But yeah, I've cast on this, and when did I cast it on? You know what? I haven't even logged it on my Ravelry. I cast it on this week. So to have, well, my patrons will know. I'll have to look back in my my vlogs that I've been doing this month over on Patreon. But yeah, that I definitely feel like I cast it on this week in the peace and quiet of this house all by myself, and I've already cast off the body. So I'm going to do the sleeves, and I'm going to do them long sleeved. I'm very interested to see if I end up just using, because I've got 2 balls, and I'm interested in seeing whether it just takes up only 1 ball of the yarn, and if that is so, then I have another ball to do something else with. But that is my first whip that I have cast on. The weather has been quite odd too. I felt like cozying up on the rainy days, as you do. I really do follow the weather. And there's been really sunny days where I've just been clean, wash. I've been aiming to get to the bottom of all the washing. And I've been washing blankets and curtains and all the bed sheets. I stripped all the beds and washed all the bed sheets and that. I'm chatting again, sorry, this is what's going to happen because I've been home alone, you see. I haven't had anyone to talk to, so I'm going to chat. Yeah, so I've just been catching up on things, you know, like all the washing and trying to get all that summer stuff finished, because summer is pretty much, feels like it's over now. The weather is definitely cooler, wetter. It's definitely winding into that autumn. And behind me, also what I'm wearing, everything's becoming very autumn-like. So all the colours behind me have, you know, all the flowers that I've dried over the summer. And yeah, I love autumn, so there's pretty much autumn colours in our house all year round, but it's just feeling all that much more autumn-like now, especially with the trees changing leaves, and some of them have already dropped their leaves. So I'm very much in the mood for casting on things to cozy with. And I believe I have mentioned, yes, I have shown this project on a vlog. A couple of my March vlogs I have popped up on YouTube for everyone to view, but most of them, pretty much all of them, are over on Patreon. But I did show this one. I do remember showing this one. I feel like I made a mistake on this. There's one row that just feels a bit different. Oh, that was when I changed colours. Okay. Okay, so the project I'm speaking of is The Shift by Andrea Mowry. So I started this one this month and it is growing. I'm already on the decreasing part, so it is very close to being finished, and I'm very excited to wear this because the colours are just, they are just everything. They are just so beautiful. And I'm using Bendigo Woollen Mills Bloom yarn. I'm using just 2 skeins of yarn. So one's a bit more blues and one's pinks. The names of them are Bright Blue and Twilight Sky. And so I'm just using 2 colors, and that's why it's, you know, it's changing a lot. The colors do change in the balls. So yeah, there's a lot of purple and pink and blues, and I just wanted to use up these. I did have another ball of this type of yarn, but it was very bright and yellowy and more like autumn colors. So I could do another autumn one if I pick up another ball or 2 of an autumn color. Then I could do a 3-ball one. But you know, this just, I really love pinks and blues, and I'm really attracted to this ball. It's just that the pink in it is just so beautiful, and I cannot wait to wear this. I'm going to finish it soon, I imagine. I've just been cast on something else, and my attention has been on that because I got excited about colors again. But yeah, this is just beautiful, and I can't wait to wear it. I can't wait to wear it with the next project that I have cast on, because I think they would go nicely together. I'll just pick it up and, you know, pinks. I've cast on a sweater. Oh my, I'm getting so inspired. And you know, when you have the space around you and you take off a week from, I've taken off a week from work technically, but I've done some work. I had to do some orders and post them out. That was my first time leaving the puppies home by themselves. They were fine, they were perfectly fine. But it was a bit nerve-wracking because, I don't know, I just don't want them to get out, and yeah. Anyhow, we have 2 Jack Russell puppies. For those who are new here, you will see them a lot in if you watch my Vlogmas from last year. We got them as puppies in November, late November. So they are very sweet, and they have been very good, but I think they can't wait for the other 4 members of the family to come home so they have more playmates, because I've been taking them for so many walks, and they've got each other, so they play a lot. But I've been taking them for so many walks, but still it's not as much as when you have 5 people take you on walks, you know, like, and fight over who gets what slot of the day, you know, like everybody wants to be with them, so, and play with them, and just, they love it when we just sit and they just play together, but we're there with them, of course, because dogs are pack animals, and they like to be with lots of other animals. Okay, so I don't have much else to say about this project other than I love it. I've just been doing, so there's 3 colors, A, B, and C. And when it comes to doing, say, if there's an A and B, so this one's my A, this one's my B. And then if there's B and C, then this one's my B and this one's my C. And then if there's A and C, this one's my A, this one's my C. So that's how I've been doing this with just the 2 balls of yarn, and it's working out quite well, and I think I will not have much yarn left over at the end, which is, there seems to be less of this one than this one, and I think that's because we used some of this for another project, or the kids used it for their finger knitting or something. But yeah, I'm keen to like get my stash down, and through getting it down is casting on all these projects. So that is the shift, and next time I'll be wearing it, I'm sure. Now, my 3rd project that I cast on this month and cast on this week. So this one I cast on after I cast off the body for the Ranunculus. I was like, I wonder if like I was inspired by the Ranunculus, and I was thinking, should I do a multi-yarned Ranunculus? But then I thought, no, something plainer would be better because that design sort of gets lost. And I didn't see anyone sort of doing multi, you know, more, when I say multi-yarns, I mean like holding lots of yarns together, or a marled look like this. So I cast on another Felix Pullover. And this is what I've got so far. And basically, if I can grab as many of the balls as possible, I am working my way through, and then I'm not going to be able to hold them all up, all of these little balls of yarn. And some of them are larger balls. Great, just tangled up a whole heap of yarn there. So I'm using tiny insy binsy little pieces, ones that I've gotten in my advents that I've done advent swaps with people. Mini skeins is another advent one. Going to pop that one in. It's going to get quite lighter down the bottom as I go, because a lot of it is this lighter stuff. I'm holding at the moment 4 strands of yarn, and that's because I'm holding 2 fingering weight and 2 lace weight. So basically if I'm doing fingering, I'm doing more an Aran weight, I guess, rather than a worsted weight, which I think it's worsted weight that the pattern calls for. So it's, at the moment, it's turning out quite nicely. I really like the weight and gauge of the yarn is turning out well. And I love the colours that are coming out as well. It's just really, really fun to watch all the colours change as you add another colour into the work. So I'm enjoying having a little bit of creativity in this jumper. I've done ones like these before. I've made 2 for Charlotte. Hazel took away, so Hazel's inherited one of the cardigan that I knitted Charlotte. So she's taken that away with her at the camp. So I don't have it here to show you, but if I find a picture, I shall put it up on the screen. So I have knitted a cardigan and a sweater previously for Charlotte. And I've used this method of using up lots and lots of little balls of yarn in my stash. And I love it. I really, really enjoy the outcome of these pieces when you put all this yarn together and knit it at the same time. I really, really enjoy it. So I've just got lots and lots of little pieces that left over from projects and things that I don't have another project for, so I just want to use them up. This one was a pair of socks that I was going to cast on, but I've decided, you know, it just takes me a long time to get around to socks, and the socks that I want to cast on this year are colourwork socks, and I have specific yarn dedicated to those socks. And yeah, I just thought, well, this would be fun popping into a sweater. So this is going to be a really nice oversized sweater. So I'm going for one size bigger than the last Felix sweater that I knit. I will put a picture of that on the screen. And I just realized I don't know where I'm up to on this project. It's just started to rain again. It's just raining, raining, raining. It's good though, because I haven't had to worry about pumping water and watering the garden while Latham's been gone because he generally does all that stuff, and the sheep and alpacas have plenty of water. Chickens are all good. I haven't had to water the garden, put the veggie garden on, so that's really, really good. Really nice to just be able to fully relax. Although having said that, the day that they left on Monday, a few hours later, a bushfire starts up next door. And I was just like, oh no. But luckily it was very small. I'm not sure how it started, whether they were mowing or... You're not allowed to burn off. Basically, it was a very windy day and it could have majorly gotten out of control. So I was a bit on high alert. I was all dressed in my fire gear, ready to go out and, water the garden and whatnot. But luckily, they got it under control. It was fine. And within, that night though, you could smell the burning. But yeah, it was all good. So I was very grateful because I was sort of like, oh no, this is my holidays starting off at a high stress sort of. It was all good, but I was just like, oh no, I'm stressing out so much at the start of my holiday, like I should be relaxing. But all is well, and I'm very grateful for the volunteers that came and put it out. And yeah. Oh dear. All right, I'm going to pop this down. I started knitting on it while I was chatting just now, but I'm going to pop it aside because I want to show you something else and tell you about a project that I am going to be working on for an exhibition, which I'm quite excited about because it's been a while since I've been a part of an exhibition. You can see, I'll do this side, my ceramic work right there. I used to be a ceramicist and do exhibitions and all sorts. So yeah, I'm excited to be a part of an exhibition again, not ceramics, textiles, because I've moved on from ceramics, although I have been dibble-dabbling in playing with clay recently, which has been really lovely. So I have been asked to join in this exhibition, and I won't tell you too much until I've started making and we've started planning and stuff, but I need lots of scraps. So basically my plan is to use all of, mine and other sewers scraps that they would throw out, or they don't want anymore, or that would essentially end up perhaps in landfill as well. Going from like teeny tiny little incy bincy scraps to larger ones. And I had asked, oh sorry Bubba, I didn't mean to scare you. All three cats are sleeping here on the couch right next to the table. And when I pulled this box down off, it was sort of on the lip of the couch. They all got really scared. Sorry, babies. Anyhow, I have been sent so many scraps, so much from people who have heard that I needed scraps, or saw on my Instagram account that I needed scraps. So there's ribbons and all sorts in this one. So many bits of scraps of fabric, and I'm going to piece them all together, kind of like what I do with my needle books. Let me find one here to show you. All right, so this is one of my needle books, and it's I just used lots of scraps, little bits. I even use tinier bits than this in my needle books. It's just a way of me using up the scrap, and I got inspired by those projects, those needle books that I make, to use the same technique with this project that I'm going to be working on. And it is a big piece, and I can't wait to share more with you, but until we've had our meetings and stuff, I'm just going to leave it at that. It's very exciting. I can't wait to start the process, but I'm also, I have a lot on my plate here, so just trying to find that time to work on it. I'll probably be doing a lot of late night sewing. It starts in June, so I have a couple of months to work on the project, and I think that is reasonable. So fingers crossed it turns out well. But I wanted to show you, so the lovely Lavina, am I pronouncing it properly there, saw on Instagram that I needed scraps, and she sent through some scraps and a little gift to say thank you for all of the videos here on YouTube, and thank you so much. I was so surprised, and look at this sweet fabric. This is a little project bag, and it is the cutest. And then inside is one of her hand-dyed yarn. It is a sock yarn, extra fine merino, and 85% extra fine merino and 15% nylon, and I'm going to be knitting socks with this. Thank you so much. It is beautiful. There's Finch Yarns. You can look her up, but I will also link below. Just gorgeous. Look at those colors in there. Just so beautiful. Oh, there's even like deeper speckles here. It's so lovely. I'm really excited and the greens on it. Every time I look at it, I find some more colors and it just goes beautifully with this project bag as well. It's got like the greens and the pinks and reds. So it goes so beautifully with the bag. Thank you. It's lovely. So I will be casting on some socks with this, no doubt, very soon. So I'm very excited about that project, and I will talk about it a bit more in future podcasts, but it's very exciting. I can't wait to see the finished project actually. So this afternoon I'm going to be taking some photos and uploading some new products that I have onto my website. You can find the link down below, and by the time you see this, they will be available on my website. So I have a new range of handkerchiefs. If you know, then you know I am the hanky lady. I run a small business, and we make and sell organic cotton handkerchiefs, and this one's beautiful too. And I love these two prints. And we have this new selection of fabrics coming out very soon. I'll have them up this weekend. But there's plenty of stock, so it's not an urgent thing, other than the items that I'm going to show you next. These are one of a kinds. But those handkerchiefs we sell online in shops around Australia. So yeah, they are available. They will be available by the time you see this, those new designs, and I'm really excited about them. I thoroughly love these two, like just the blue in it. If I could find more fabrics like that blue, they're just so beautiful. And I love these dandelions and the pot, like they're all really lovely fabrics. The tulips, I'm holding that upside down. So yeah, they'll be available now. I have one pocket belt that will be up, and it is this sunflower one. So some of you may already know about my pocket belts, but they are generally unique. Sometimes there's 2 or 3 of the same fabric or design, but usually they are one-offs. This one is a one-off. I do have another one with the sunflower fabric coming out, but it has different fabrics on the back. So yeah, there will be another sunflower one coming out soon too. I had all the intention of making lots of project bags after I did my last podcast episode about what I've been sewing, but I haven't yet. And the reason is because I've been obsessed with making needle books and finishing off items that I'd already started. So I'm just trying to clear out scraps a bit. This project over here is going to help me a ton to get rid of all my scraps of fabric. And you know, I've asked people for more scraps because this is a big project and it requires a lot of fabric. So hopefully I don't end up with too many scraps at the end of the project. If I do, then I'll be making some scrap project bags as well, I think. Anyhow, this project bag here will be up in my shop. It's just a sweet little autumny coloured bag that I made recently, and you would have seen it on my last podcast episode. So it's a drawstring one, and I'm going to have more of these. I have another one of these already cut out, half made actually, and I have plans for some different project bags coming soon, but as I said, been occupied making other things. I'm going to show you some of my needle books that will be available very soon. Just keep in mind they don't have their little buttons sewn on yet, so I will have a whole lot of mushroom ones available. This one here has a handmade ceramic button that it will have sewed onto it. It hasn't got it on it yet. That's the back of that one. Yeah, so lots of cute mushroom ones, a green one too. That is the only green one that I have in this collection. And over here, so there's a lot of mushroom ones. They just don't have their buttons sewn on yet. I just wanted to get recording on the podcast before I lost all the natural light and was just, you know, focusing on all of the, you know, artificial light to make light for me to film. Lost my train of thought there. I also have, this is one of my needle books. I hold some of my mending stuff in this one, but I loved the chickens. I used to have these chicken handkerchiefs and I only had a little bit of the fabric left. I have a little bit more, so hopefully there will be some more chicken needle books or project bags in the future. But I've got 3 chicken needle books that will be up in the shop. That's one of them. The other 2 are not finished yet. So, and then I've got fig leaf ones. These ones are quite large, which is handy for other crafts as well. Like you could use these ones for, all of them have this felt inside. Oof, that blowed out heaps, sorry. But all of them have this felt inside, so you can put your needles and your pins and sew on buttons onto here, so you have everything. And they all have pockets, deep pockets like this. Some of the smaller ones have smaller pockets, but you know, still quite deep compared to the size of them. So yeah, there's some larger ones that will be available. Yeah, so that's just a few of the ones that I've made. I've made quite a lot, and I've just been in that zone of making. Last night I stayed up quite late, and I could stay out late. I stayed up late making them, and then this morning I could just get up, and all I have to think about is myself. The cats wake me up early, of course, because that's what they do. And the dogs are good at sleeping in. They sleep in till about 8 o'clock. They're pretty, I feel like they're in that teenage stage where they're like sleeping in, and especially Jackie, she just never wants to get out of bed in the morning. She's just like, looks at you like, really don't want to get up. So that's good. You get to have a little bit of a sleep in, although the cats had me up at 4 a.m. this morning, but then I went back to bed and had another 3 hours of sleep, so that was good. So my family will be back tomorrow, and I can't wait. I've thoroughly enjoyed this time, and I'm so glad that I just took the time to do whatever I felt like doing. I didn't put too much pressure on myself to do lots of work. I wanted to try and like get a few sewing patterns up and underway, but I just didn't because I won't get this time again. I won't get this time by myself, 5 nights by myself again in my home. I just, without the kids and without Latham, and I just feel like I won't get that time again. I might get a night here and there, maybe one day, but yeah, just to have that space and that headspace and just really relax into, it's different having like a holiday at home. Like I really tried to do that, have a holiday at home. Even though I did lots of cleaning and stuff, that makes me feel good that at least like, because when you come back from a holiday, I feel like it's nice to have a clean house. So at least I did the cleaning at the start and, did lots of loads of washing. And it's not that difficult to just hang out washing and bring it back in, fold it up, put it away, or put the curtains back up, or, anything like that. Yeah, it's just, I did have plans of doing like heaps of preserving, but then I ran out of lids, so I couldn't do any preserving. And then on Wednesday, I picked up the order of lids at the post office, but I haven't touched them. And I'm kind of glad, because as soon as my family get home, I'll just start the process again, just start processing the food that's in the garden. And I do that all through April and sometimes all through May as well. And then the frosts start and it's winter, and yeah, but just having this time to just do whatever feels right to me. It's been interesting, like just cooking things that I love to eat. Like I've been cooking, I don't eat much. Like I cook so much food, and I'm always cooking for my family, and we go through so much food. But when it's just me, like I cooked one meal and that did me for a couple of nights and a lunch. Like anyway, I cooked with eggplant because no one really, likes eggplant. So that was enjoyable for me, and it was yummy. But yeah, I haven't gone through much food, so I haven't had to be cooking so much. I haven't had to do too many dishes. And if I have had a few dishes there, I've just sort of left them, even though I kind of, it hasn't annoyed me that there's a few dishes sitting there not washed. Like, it hasn't annoyed me at all. So I had to make sure that I'm actually doing the right thing here. I'm just knitting away on this and just needed to make sure that I'm doing the right thing, that I am. thoroughly enjoying this. I really can't wait to get to the body of it and just be knitting round and round and watching the colours change. Yeah, so it's just been a really, really enjoyable week and something that I will remember. Like, I've taken in this week so much that it's just going to last a long time. And not having my family here, I really do miss them, especially at nighttime. It becomes a bit lonely at nighttime. I wouldn't suit living a single life, like without kids too. I always wanted to have kids, always. From when I was quite young, I wanted to have a family, and I wanted to have a lot of kids too. I ended up with 3, but I wanted to have like 5 or 6. But my body wouldn't allow that. I think it is such a blessing to have this time and to just reflect as well, and to have that space. And for Latham also, for him to be taking care of the kids, I think that's been really, really good for him. He's sort of said a few things, and I've just sort of say to him, well, that's what it's like for me, so it's kind of, it's really been good for both of us. I see how much work, I always see how much work he does. He does so much work on the farm, and I've been really lucky that I haven't had to do a lot of the things that he does, just because there's been rain and there's plenty of water in the tanks and such. But yeah, he can see how, I know, your train of thought can just be completely wiped because you're looking after 3 kids, or dealing with their emotions, or it just all of that stuff. You take on all that stuff. It's just so much more than when you're working with a team of people, of adults that hopefully are already very emotionally stable and such, rather than these tweens and teenagers that are learning about themselves and the world around them. It's just so much. But I wouldn't have it any other way as well. Like, it's just so delightful getting to know these humans and spend my days with them. And so I've really missed having them around, but very, very grateful for this time. And the next time I have this moment, I will remember that taking it easy was the way to go, and I hopefully won't have any regrets about what I've done or not done as well. Like, I thought, I'd get lots of work done. I did a few mending videos, and I filmed quite a bit, so that's good. I haven't edited them though. I'll leave that for later. I'm just, being able to use this space as well is kind of special, like having my sewing machine on the table and just having everything splayed out and having room and a beautiful view to look at while I work away. My studio is lovely, but I just felt like I needed to be in the main room so I could, keep an eye on chickens, dogs, cats, just what's going on. If I'm in my studio, then I've only got one window that can see a certain distance, and so I felt really, it's been a luxury to just use the house, a big, huge house, compared to, a space that I'd have if I was just on my own. But, just using this big space by myself, it's just been such a delight to have this. And then I'll go back to my studio, to my hovel, as I call it sometimes, go back to my space, and everyone else will chatter around the house, and it'll be really nice. I have been listening to I've been listening to audiobooks and podcasts and things, and that's been really nice to have the company. But also I've been listening to silence, and it's just really nice. It's really nice. I don't know how I would have gone with having 5 or 6 kids in the end. Like, I think it would have been too noisy for me. My kids are quiet kids, really, compared to some other kids. And they do pretty quiet things. And they weren't even really that noisy when they were toddlers and young children. But it's just if they're listening to an audiobook and another one of them's listening to an audiobook, it's just all the noise of technology sometimes too, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, so this has been an interesting podcast, a bit of a knit and natter at the end here. I hope you have enjoyed seeing all the projects that I've cast on. I tend to go into more depth about projects when they're completed, so I might have missed out on a few little bits and pieces, such as the Ranunculus. I did the body longer than the pattern called for, and that was a mistake at the beginning, but then it's actually worked out well. I like the length of it. And then I'm doing size 3 for this one. But yeah, you can find the notes below. I'll put a few details in the description below as well about the yarns. This sweater in particular, I'm not going to be marking any of the yarns. There's just too many unmarked yarns that I have, little bits and pieces. So I'll just call it scrap yarns, and then I'm basically using 3 fingering weights at the same time. So that's what I'll do for that one. I can't go into detail with that. I hope you have enjoyed this funny little episode of mine. I'm feeling a little bit like I need to talk to people. I need to go out there. I think I need to go out. Anyway, my family will be back tomorrow and I will be chatting their ears off or listening to their stories. I can't wait to hear how the homeschool camp went. We really enjoy going to these camps, and unfortunately, because we've got the puppies, but fortunately, because we've got the puppies, we couldn't all go. So I volunteered to stay at home, and yeah, as I've said, very grateful for that time. In the future, hopefully my parents will be looking after the puppies when we go on our camps, and I will be able to go as well, because I do enjoy going to them, but then I do enjoy time by myself. So, you can't have it both ways, and I have no regrets for not going to this camp and socializing. I really, really have enjoyed my time here. But yes, I hope you have enjoyed my little nattering away podcast episode here. And I hope, I inspire you to think about outside the box and do a project that's different, like using 2 balls of yarn or doing some mild sort of project like this. It's lots of fun to do things differently and not just as the pattern says as well. And when I see you next, I will have some finished projects, I am sure, because these are flying off my needles, and I've got a ton of, knitting mojo at the moment, so that is great. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a beautiful weekend full of lots of crafting or gardening or staring at the sky. Take some time just to tune out, and I tell you, you will thank yourself later. I'm gonna go and walk my dogs, and then I'm gonna have a bath. See you next time. Bye.